Oh my God, Victory Sunday. How's everybody doing? I can't believe it. I was just at the game. I just got home. My computer crashed. It was exciting. Anytime you could beat those Green Bay Packers, it's a good day. Let's go around the panel here and let's introduce everybody. But I do want to give you a programming note. We have Detroit's former Lion, Anthony Cannon, well, Coach Cannon now. Let's get, hopefully, we already got 10 viewers. Everybody, let's go clockwise and introduce yourselves. Chicken Nugget.
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Chicken Nugget King. I am a diehard Lions fan, and I am happy that we took down the Packers in this game, and I'm very happy to be talking to you guys on this podcast, and let the good times roll.
Yeah, and my name is Ben Bosscher, one of the co-hosts for the Forward Down the Field podcast, a new one that just got started up this year, but growing pretty good. So I'm glad to be on this, talk about finally a Lions win. It's been a minute since we've been able to cover one, but yeah.
Yeah, guys, Anthony Cannon here, former Detroit Lion. First time out on the show, and obviously following a win against the Green Bay Packers is only right for that to be my first time out. So I'm very, very excited about joining you guys tonight.
Sam?
Yeah, I'm Sam, the other host of the Forward Down the Field show, and just so happy the Lions have finally won a game again, right? I mean, it's so hard to constantly put out content when the team's doing poor, and so now that they're back in the win column, we have something positive to talk about. Feels good.
Right on. Okay, let's talk about the game. I couldn't go over the stats because I was there, and it was great to see Aiden Hutchinson in the end zone pick off Aaron Rodgers not once. Kirby Joseph he's got to be the NFC North Defensive Player of the Week. He's got to be because he is balling. What's that? 3 interceptions in the last 2 games? Talk about it, guys.
I'm in love with everything Kirby Joseph is doing. Like, we talked about it a little bit last week on the show, I think. We sent this guy, we drafted this guy, and to everyone's knowledge, he wasn't really supposed to play a whole lot this year. We had Deshaun Elliott, we had Tracy Walker, and those guys both go down, and all of a sudden he's getting serious reps, and he has just gotten better every single step of the way. You look at the rest of the defensive roster, and obviously it's been a struggle this year, and you throw him into this fire, and all of a sudden, like I said, he's gotten better every single week. I think he's forced 4 turnovers in the last 3 weeks, 2 forced fumbles and 2 picks. I think that's what it is. I am in love with what he's doing. I think he keeps playing like this, assuming he's probably going to be in concussion protocol, so hopefully we can get him back. However, he keeps playing like that and forcing all these turnovers. I think he could maybe get his name in the conversation for Defensive Rookie of the Year. I don't think that's crazy to say.
Chicken Nugget?
Put respect on Kirby Joseph's name, man. This dude is a flat-out stud. He's played well, and he showed up very well. You know, you got to make sure that the next man up can make something happen and get your reps right, so that way everybody can, depend on them when the time is right. Joseph's really been great, 10 tackles, 2 interceptions, especially getting him off a great player like Aaron Rodgers. I mean, this kid is really good. When the stars are in line, he's definitely going to have a name in this league. I mean, this is the NFL. You can make anything happen. You can believe,
Next up. Was it Ben?
Well, yeah, no, I definitely think Kirby Joseph had a breakout game today. He's been slowly improving himself the last couple of weeks, but today against a divisional opponent, someone like Aaron Rodgers, who's known for breaking our hearts at Ford Field, to be able to return the favor today and kind of seal the deal there. I think it was a monumental moment for him in his career.
Can I ask you a couple more questions there, Anthony? What are you doing now and promote your product? Because I know you are a coach, one of
Yeah, so
highly respected.
absolutely. I right now I currently run Under Armour Flag Football Canada here in Toronto, out of Toronto, Canada. Played for the Toronto Argos after playing with the Detroit Lions for 3 years. Uh, so now I just run a football developmental academy here in Canada alongside being the director of player development, co-founder of Under Armour Flag Football Canada. And yeah, that's where my passion lies right now is developing athletes and helping Canadian athletes here in Canada across the country get the exposure they need to potentially play in the States or here in the in Canada.
So, do you have any nuggets? Is there any stars that are going to be coming out, or any 5 stars that are going to American schools that are
Well, man,
developing?
hey, Josh Palmer, he was a Canadian coming out. He was one of the kids that started out in my academy. He's a receiver for San Diego Chargers right now. John Mechie's older brother, Royce Mechie, was one of my athletes as well. So there's definitely some bright stars coming out of Canada, and I think the Brown brothers at uh, Oklahoma State. Sorry, no, sorry, not Oklahoma State. Illinois. The Brown brothers at Illinois.
Yep.
They're going to be the next two that really turn some heads out of Canada. But there's definitely some talent coming out of the country.
Nice. Okay, let's talk about what you guys think of the game. Just let's go for a free for all, everybody. Let's just go in order.
Yeah, sure. I mean, this was. I mean, what are you gonna say other than like this is a great day, right? I mean, Lions dropped 6 straight games and like they came back with a win, right, against a divisional rival, a team that has so many times on the broadcast they were saying this is a get right game for the Packers. They need to get this one going. In case something happens to the Vikings, they can try to win the division. And when do we ever want to see the Packers succeed in Detroit? Like never. And so, getting a win at home in front of the hometown fans, getting stuff kind of together, and it was also a defensive battle, right? And so this defense has been one of the worst in the league, frankly, all year. And they fired Aubrey Pleasant, the defensive backs coach, and then the defensive backs seemed to play really well today. So it kind of seems like the Lions just got all the puzzle pieces kind of to fit together at the right time. They kind of scared me at the end a little with those like fumbles and some of the missed calls, but at the end of the day, they escaped with a win, and you got to be happy about that.
Yeah, and the part that I really would like to take away from this is the fact that we looked so good, not the entire game, but situationally, I thought we really stepped up in some big moments, which is something we lacked all season long, stepping up in those big moments. But on the goal line, Aiden Hutchinson comes through, Kirby Joseph with 2, like we haven't been causing turnovers. And then all of a sudden we look like this defensive team who, yes, we had some problems today. It's not like everything was perfect. However, we had some of our playmakers step up. And when your defense is so thin, like your top players are your top guys, and they're all young guys, especially. But after that, it gets so poor so fast. So you need those guys to make big plays, and we did. So I thought that was excellent to continue to see the growth in these young guys in Hutchinson, who didn't fill up the stat sheet, but was getting double teams like crazy. Pascal is going to get a few pressures. Okuda, not his best game, but in some key situations came up clutch. Kirby Joseph, obviously. These are all very young pieces to this team who I think are very important parts of our future. So it's glad to see that they're getting better every single game.
I would like to say that we had a very complete game. Offense, defense had a very complete game. We made, a statement here and there. Every possession we was thinking about getting after the ball. And every time we got after the ball, it was a pickoff. So we were watching out for, deep balls, short balls. The last 2 minutes of the game had me a little bit worried, but other than that, we prevailed. We was fighting through the finish, and that's how you win in the trenches. You got to make sure that you finish the game completely on a 60-minute basis. And I definitely want to send a shout out to Anthony Cannon for actually, helping out those young guys and trying to, team, get them in the right position so they can get out there in the NFL or, CFL. So I would like to say we had a hell of a win. So a win is a win. We got to be happy for that, and we got to be ready to battle with the Chicago Bears next.
Anthony, any thoughts?
No, hey, thanks. I appreciate the shout out, man. And you know, having been a player, former player, and just watching that game, uh, to see the defense step up in big moments, consistently throughout the game was very good to see. Um, I feel like all year, all season long, when you have an offense that has been putting up the amount of points that we've been putting up, defensively, it ultimately is just up to the defense not to, for lack of a better term, f it up. And you got to minimize the big plays, and I think we did that today. Um, there's maybe three plays in the game that would determine the outcome of the game, and I feel like those moments in the game, when Aiden Hutchinson got the interception in the end zone, that big play uh, on the vertical down the middle, cover two. Those are moments in the game where previously we weren't making those plays, and tonight or today, we finally were able to make the play, and I feel like it's a momentum builder going forward for us. That's for sure.
One thing I'd add is I love that we win, and I think we should really talk about it, because our defense stepped up a lot, but I did think our offense was kind of underwhelming today. Green Bay's run defense is just as bad as ours, so we were able to capitalize that very well with Jamal Williams running for 80 yards on 24 carries. I'm not sure we get away with that against a ton of other teams. Granted, the Bears don't have their best run defense either, but I don't want to take this game and think, oh, everything's okay, because I don't think Jamal Williams between the tackles averaging 3.5 yards 24 times a game is something that beats good teams, especially when you have Josh Reynolds and DJ Chark out. That kind of put us in a tough situation because we didn't have any big receivers to go down the field. We really do need those guys back. We need Swift healthy if we want to really see this offense continue to grow, because the lack of Swift, his consistency is different every single week, how much we're getting him, whether we're getting him or not. And I think that's really disrupted what this offense is built on. The first couple of weeks of the season, he was getting the ball more than anybody, and now it's we don't really know what to expect. So until we get everyone fully healthy, and I mean fully healthy, I just need to see a little bit more out of this offense. And then combine that with the defense getting better, I think we're in a little bit better of a situation than people realize, but we need to get everyone healthy. That should be priority number one.
Yeah, I mean, as Ben and I talk about on our show all the time on the Forward Down the Field podcast, Swift opens up so much of what this offense can do that really, even when he's in such a limited role, the offense kind of stalls out a lot. Because he's not just a really talented runner who can burst through gaps really quickly and kind of stretch runs that really shouldn't be stretched that far, like Jamal Williams. His longest carry was 14 yards today. If that's DeAndre Swift, you might have 2 or 3 of those. But also he creates so much space in the passing game a lot over the middle because linebackers have to stack the box against him and kind of compensate for that. And plus he can swing out. You saw he had 2 catches or 3 catches today and was the second leading receiver for the team just on 5 snaps. He's such a versatile player. He opens up so much for this offense, and so when he's off the field, there's kind of a lot less that the defense has to key in on, and because of that, there's a lot less they can do.
Chicken.
Yeah, I definitely want to piggy bank off, what the guys said, what the fellas said, is that normally, Jamal Williams won't even get those kind of touches in certain games. But in this game, he really got those touches. He was digging down deep, and he was trying to, make things count. And with those important runs, you get important points and get in the end zone, because the run game is very important just as much as the pass game is very important. And when you run the ball, you make sure that the effort is there. You make sure the heart is there, and you make sure you get in between those tackles and just get the yardage, help out and help the team well. Defensively, we were the worst team, but the worst defensive team came out and, outplayed that Green Bay offense and got some touches and takeaways. So 3 takeaways in one game today is an A+ right now.
Anthony?
Yeah, I definitely couldn't agree more. Offensively, I think there's a lot of improvements that could be made, particularly with Swift. He does cause matchup problems across the board. Myself being a former linebacker, I know someone like Swift. They're hard to prepare against, so you don't really know what to expect. But I do definitely feel like we could utilize a lot more weapons on offense once they become healthy, and when that happens, I think we'll be in the driver's seat. If you go back to the Minnesota Vikings game, I feel like that game was our game to win, and they're top of the NFC right now. Definitely NFC North as it stands, and it's a toss up right now. I mean, I don't know what it looks like for us in the playoff race in regards to catching up to the Vikings, but today's win was a great start, and I feel like if we keep this ball rolling, we definitely are right there. We're not the bottom of the barrel, that's for sure.
No. Yeah, so I'm going to bring in Mike here. We're going to talk some Bears. Is that okay, Michael? You want to talk some Bears? So our next week's opponent is those Chicago Bears, which they have been playing a lot better. Justin Fields is getting better and better and better every week. I think he had 187 yards rushing. It's an NFL record for a quarterback. Is Michael Vick back in the league now? Talk about it, Michael.
I don't know if it's a record or not, but he's definitely doing his thing, opening up. Like he's a very athletic player. With our offensive line, it's been shaky back and forth. But last few weeks, it's actually been gelling together, and we have more issues on the defense. Yeah, we lost a lot of talent on that defense. I'm gonna miss Roquan. I'll still be a fan. You know what I mean? But at the beginning of the year, they gave him the final offer, and he just didn't agree to it. So it was the final offer. The Bears and the organization had a couple choices, and they went with, we'll get draft picks out of you. Yeah, we're going to pay you. We're going to pay you anyways. So might as well get something than nothing. But I love the Claypool move. We needed a big receiver. Oh. He's on his rookie deal for another 2 more years. I feel we're going to re-sign him at the end of this year because we have the money to do it. I believe we're going to re-sign Monty because he won't be very high player because him and Herbert get more of the carries split. And right now, Justin Fields gets the workload.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's a Canadian kid, so I really like him. I think he's from Burnaby.
Yep.
So, you guys got anything on Chicago? You want to Chicken Nugget? Give me one of your classic rants. Get everybody pissed off in the huddle.
Oh man, I think you couldn't have asked a better person for this. Chicago, hi. I'm public enemy number 1, Chicken Nugget King. I know you want it with me, but let me tell you something. Let me give you real spiffy right here. I know your guy was very electric out the backfield, running and all that, thinking he's Michael Field in the Flash. But let me tell you, you're not going to win this game. You are not going to go ahead and get 10 points, 15 points, 25 points, maybe even 35 plus, but you're not ready for the Detroit Lions. And no, this is not no Hulk Hogan. No, it's not The Rock. No, it's not Ric Flair. Woo! It's not. It is the Chicken Nugget King right here telling you that you will lose at Soldier Field. You better believe that.
And then he turned his Xbox off.
There's Bill, the Packer fan. Hey, Bill, do you have any thoughts on the game? Oh, he must be muted.
He's Bill, not muted, but sure.
Yeah, I'd love to have Bill on the show.
I bet you would.
But no, I think it's going to be a good game next week. obviously there's positives and negatives on both, sides of the teams, but the Bears got to stop somebody. They haven't really stopped much. I think they had 2 stops all game today. Other than that, it was an offensive shootout, which, me being a Bear fan, I'm not used to that. Usually I'm relied on the defense and the offense just do a little bit. You know what I mean? But technically, you guys haven't beat the Bears in 2
Oh,
years.
stop.
Who's counting?
Stop.
2 years ago, buddy. That's 2 years ago, buddy. This is now. It's the 2022 season. Are you out of your mind, Mike? Are you? No. Are you delusional right now?
Yes.
Are you delusional?
I was
Let me ask you something. Do you really think that Bears offense has a chance winning this game? Do you really think that?
The
As I look at
offense,
you with a
yeah,
straight
but
face.
not the defense. Because, like I said, the defense hasn't really stopped much, especially for all the talent that we got rid of. Quinn, Mack, Smith. Like, we lost some players. Goldman, Hicks. Like, that's a big names I just said that we lost from last year. So, yeah, we took a little downfall on the defense, but I personally think it's going to be a pretty good game. And, yeah, I think we're going to score.
All
And
right.
you know what? I'm gonna really draw some heat here. Watch this. The Lions are the new monsters of the Midway. Oh yes,
What's your
love
record?
it.
Sam, and then
One game behind the Bears, which isn't saying much.
we're going to go with Sam, and then Anthony, if you can think about a good little story about the Chicago Bears or some kind of funny or a great story that you
for
can.
sure.
Sam?
I mean, this isn't necessarily a story, but looking for the future, right? I mean, next week we're playing the worst offensive line in football, and we have some rookie pass rushers on this team that are like really anxious to get going against those guys because Aiden Hutchinson, he's been double teamed a lot. He's been held on a lot of plays that aren't getting called. Just want to throw that out there. And now he's got a chance to like actually get a ton of sacks and just kind of like rack up his stat line. And I have a feeling, man, that this is a game that he's just going to explode. I mean, he's got a healthier defensive line now with, Aleem McNeil, Charles Harris, Josh Pascal all there. And this is just like perfectly adding up to a game where he just explodes. I know Justin Fields is fast. I know he likes to escape, but I feel like he's not going to know what hits him when his left tackle just collapses right into him. I mean, it's just
technically the offensive line's been kind of shaky all year. Run offense is a different story, but pass, you're right. But that's why he moves out of the pocket. He doesn't feel comfortable. And he's been getting better and better every game just with the offensive line, too, only giving up 2 sacks today.
he's going to roll into Hutchinson, that's for sure. I'll tell you that.
Hutchinson's a good player. I absolutely agree.
And he's going against Riley Reef? Oh, come on.
I am a little worried.
I think
honestly,
Anthony played with Riley. Didn't you play with Riley?
No, I didn't play with him. I don't think.
Okay. Do you have any good stories about coaches or anything? You played with Calvin and Stafford.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'd say it's particularly playing against Green Bay. That was back when Devin Hester was the returner. So just the preparation alone, leading up to the game, and when we played Devin Hester, from a special team standpoint, was second to none. As we all know, he was one of the most dynamic returners in NFL history. So to prepare to play him was definitely something to remember as a former player, that's for sure.
As you brought up the Hester thing, like being a Bear fan, I loved Hester. From your perspective, do you think he deserves to get into the Hall of Fame?
No, absolutely. I mean, when you talk about Hall of Fame, you want to talk about guys who changed the game. You want to talk about guys who were game plan changers, to where you can have a plan going in against Deion Sanders or Marcus Allen, Kurt Warner, all these guys. You can have a plan going in, but no matter what, they were going to change that game plan with their play, and that's who Devin Hester was week in, week out. You had a game plan, but if you or anyone made one mistake, he was going to make you pay.
Definitely. It's
And
just a
for that
hard
reason alone, he's a Hall of Famer.
Definitely. It's just a hard category to put him in because he wasn't really a receiver. And you ever heard of a punt return, kickoff return making the Hall of Fame? That I feel like that's the
I've heard of.
category.
Here's the thing about Hall of Fame and just the game of football. Period. Everyone who makes the Hall of Fame are football players. So if you're going to tell me that Devin Hester isn't one of the greatest football players of all time, then the Hall of Fame is a bunch of crap, because I don't care about your position. It's a collection of the greatest football players of all time.
Definitely. So most teams didn't even want to kick to him. Like anything could happen.
Exactly. And even if they did and they made the mistake and it did land in bounds, he made them pay. So to me, Hall of Fame needs to be redefined, like not by position, but by your ability to play football.
Makes sense.
I mean, that guy could cut left, cut right, cut middle. He gets better vision, and once he gets that better vision, he's straight in the end zone. Like that man is crazy with it, and he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. And he's one of the great players that ever played for the Chicago Bears. And I really gotta acknowledge his talent. And if you can't acknowledge his talent, he'll make you pay and show you that he can be acknowledged, as you said, Cannon. So. Um, that guy is a once in a lifetime player like Calvin Johnson is. He's definitely one of a kind. And, you can never miss out on those guys. Those guys can be household names forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, anyone that revolutionizes a position to the extent that he did deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. It's a collection of the best players in football, as Anthony said. It's a collection of players who, changed the sport completely, and that was a guy who was feared by every team he played because he just changed the game and how you had to play it. Anyone, I mean, he had 7,300 returning yards and 37 touchdowns. You can't say that about most any other player. He was a game changer at the definition of the word. So, absolutely a Hall of Famer.
I think we got Darcy's missing for a second. I'm sure he'll jump back on. But anybody got anything, questions or anything?
No, I'm just excited for the Bears game. I think I got to pop off in a second, but I just got to say one more time. I'm just so happy we won. I know a lot of people are kind of saying we're wasting our draft pick right now winning, but dude, there's like 8 weeks left. Like we got to continue to win. Like if we can go 4-4 over these 8 weeks and double our win total from last year, so be it. Like we don't need the number one pick. I'm much more concerned about continuously trying to win and improve some of these guys. That sounds a lot more important to me than what position we're drafting at right now. But go Lions. Thank you guys for having me on. I got to pop off in a second though.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
but it doesn't happen overnight. Like it takes a while, depending on the situation, stuff like that. But I give it 2 years before the Bears are playoff ready. You know what I mean? I mean, we got the most draft picks. We did lose one for the Claypool, but we kind of have almost double the money from the second place tally. So we're going to have the money. Just the question is how they're going to do it in the offseason, which Foles has been doing a great job as a GM.
Yeah. I think before I head off as well, to piggyback off of what Ben was saying, though, like I said before this season started, the way that we monitor success with this team and this unit and regime was really going to be, can they show consistent, steps each season, right? So last year they showed steps towards the end of the year to kind of fight in every game and be competitive, and then as the season progressed, as the offseason progressed, they had Hard Knocks. They showed that whole mentality that they were going to be that team that is always scrappy, that's going to be competitive week in and week out. And it started that way, this season. And so I was kind of happy with that. But the wins just didn't, keep coming. And so now I want to see them again, consistently take steps. So now they've closed out a win against the Packers. I want to see them close out wins down the stretch. Hopefully they can get to the point where they double their win total and show, consistent progression, and then get to the point where they're bringing in enough talent to actually compete down the stretch for games that, I hate to say it, matter. I mean, when you're competing for a playoff spot, those are the games that matter. When you're, 2-6 and kind of out of the race, games don't feel as meaningful. So getting to a point where they're competing for meaningful games is going to be the most important thing. But thanks for having us on. Go show some love for the Forward Down the Field podcast, and we'll see you guys as soon as we can.
See you guys.
All right, guys. Take care.
Oh, I got a couple more questions, if that's all right, since we got the 4 screen. I like the 4 screen. So what are your thoughts, Anthony? We play, we go on the road, we play the Bears, and then we play the Giants, and then what's it like to play for Thanksgiving? Is that like a special feeling as a player? You get up. Is it hard to play only on 4 days rest? Explain, what you would be feeling as a player right now.
It's special, just because the meaningness behind it. It's only a certain amount of teams that do play on Thanksgiving, so it's somewhat of an honor. Um, and to be honest, with the whole short week thing, with Monday night games and Thursday night games being, such a staple now in a part of the game, that's not a big factor. But I think being able to play on Thanksgiving and knowing everyone's home with their family on the holidays, everyone's sitting around the TV watching football, that's part of the culture, right? And I feel like that's what makes it so special, in a sense. And the fact that the Lions always play on Thanksgiving, I feel like that's something that shouldn't be overlooked as a player, because it's an honor.
Nice.
It's definitely a tradition thing for sure. Like, I wish the Bears played more on Thanksgiving, honestly, but the only time that happened,
the Lions are going to hold that spot. Screw the Bears.
No, I agree. not the screw part, but yeah, no, I agree. I like the Thursday game. I even like them adding the Thursday night game. That's even better because now we get an extra game to watch.
Yeah, for sure.
I love the overseas games. You get up at get up at 9 o'clock in the morning and there's football on. Football.
Absolutely. I love that feeling too, man. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Holiday season, holiday football. Thanksgiving we play against the Bills. So I really am looking forward to that, but I would love to see us have games out in Much, if I'm saying it right, out in Much, out in Mexico. I want us to have those kind of games too, because those are prime time games as well. And drawing back to this 2-6 record, yeah, we're 2-6, but we're able to compete game in, game out. And we want to have a chance to win. We want to see a win column. And, it would be beautiful to win every game, but you lose some, you win some, but you live to fight another day. And this team has a bright future. You got Hutch, you got Aiden, you got, Rodrigo, you got KJ, Kirby Joseph. You got some names out there, some very valuable pieces. So I think we're going to help that out. And plus Josh Pascal too. So when you got valuable names like that, everything's going to go right and go all the way up.
All righty. So this is going to be the end of the broadcast. We have a programming note. We're going to be doing the show on Thursday, Thanksgiving, right after, and then we're going to take a break on this Sunday. Also, we're going to be having Alumni Week, celebrating the Detroit Lions News 12th year anniversary. So we're going to have a whole bunch of former players on. I hope you guys could like, share, subscribe, join the huddle. It's a great group. Join, if you're already on the Detroit Lions News because you're watching. So also, we're going to have a lot more content and a real host, because I'm not a host, as you can see. I'm a coach. So bye for now. Yeah, you guys have anything to say to finish off?
Go ahead.
I have something to say.
Here, I'm going to blow you up. Hang on. Give it to him.
All right, man. This is your boy Chicken Nugget King 586, One Pride, and we're the new Monsters of the Midway. Hashtag new Monsters of the Midway. And I'm ready, and I know you're ready too. Week 10. Let's go get them.
Michael?
All right. Hashtag, you're going to have to earn that Monster of the Midway. But no, since you ain't got nothing going on Sunday, you're more than welcome to come watch a game with Mike the Bear Fan. I always go live with the game. We kind of talk during the game as well. So if you're not doing nothing then, you're more than welcome to come on. So if not, go check out my page, Mike the Bear Fan, and also my group, NFL The Huddle. I mean, Hard Knocks, NFL Hard Knocks.
Yep.
I'm in so many groups.
All right, so let's kick it off for the Detroit Lions news. Thank you, everybody who was watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you, Anthony Cannon, for coming on. Next week's going to have a lot more content, and just couldn't get organized since I was at the game. Let's go. One Pride, baby. Woo! Dog!